Okay, today is day 2 of 10-1-1, Introduction to Arithmetic Series. And reminder that if it's arithmetic, it means that the pattern is either adding or subtracting each time. And series, remember, just means that instead of a sequence, which is a list of numbers, a series is adding those terms in the list of numbers. Okay? And if you are watching this video, it's because you've already done or tried 10-5 and 10-6 and you wanted to either get a little help or see how I did some of this stuff. Okay, hopefully 10-5, if you understand the concept, that's not too hard, but what they want you to do is start to see some patterns and some easy ways to do it instead of actually adding every number. So in part A, and I know that the answers are right here, but in part A, it's just a rectangle, and remember, we're just basically finding the area. So if it's 5 units tall and 7 units across, that's really easy. That's just 35. Okay. I also want to talk to you a little bit about what Mr. Havens did the other day with those blocks. He had that list of blocks and it looked like a staircase. And what he did was he took the staircase in half, he flipped them over to turn it into a rectangle so it was easier. Okay. So really what he's doing here is taking the first and last number. That's 10. The next first and next last number, that's also 10. The next first and next last, that's also 10, and then what's remaining here is 5, okay? Another way to think about that is if he broke this staircase in half, and he took the first number and the last number and added them together, okay? So first plus last, and you multiply it by how many terms there are, 7, but because he folded it in half, you also have to divide by 2. Okay, so this was number of terms. So if I take the first and last in part B, so again, here's the visual of part B. If you break the staircase in half and swing it around, then it's going to be just one rectangle. Well, how tall is the rectangle going to be? It's going to be this first plus the last. So 4 plus 10, which is 14, times, okay, we're not going to go all the way to 16. When you flip it in half, you're only going halfway to 8. Okay, so again, first plus last times the number of terms, always divided by 2. Okay, and that becomes 112. So here again, in part C, I don't really care what these middle terms are. I certainly could make a list of them, but they're asking us in the directions to not worry about that. So again, thinking of that staircase, if I take the first plus the last, it gives me the height of the rectangle. So 228 plus 48. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply not by the whole width of 6, we cut it in half. Half of 6 is 3. And we get an answer of 828. Okay. This last one, same exact concept. If we know it's arithmetic, we can always do that staircase method. So the 14 plus 20, first plus last, times how many terms there are. Okay, this one's a little bit trickier, and I know you probably can't see my paper really well, but it's giving us ordered pairs of the upper right-hand corner of each rectangle, the first and the last rectangle. So the first rectangle is 1, the last rectangle is 32. That's how I knew that there were 32 terms. And again, I have to divide by 2, and I get an answer of 544. Okay? Now, secondly, we're going to use some of these ideas to help us with 10-6. Now, 10-6 says team challenge, and I realize that you guys don't have teams to talk through with this. It says, how much information do you need to be able to write an arithmetic series and find its sum? So really, I kind of wrote an equation here. The sum is first plus last times half the number of terms. Okay, so let's see if we can use that for any of these. Some of these, they're giving us pieces and parts, and we have to work around. Now, they do want us to write the series. So that's like what I did here with the plus signs, and then find the sum. Okay, write the series and then find the sum. So this first one, they tell us it starts with 18, it ends with 72, and it adds 4.5 every time. So if I'm writing the series out, I have to write out 18 plus 22.5 plus 27 plus 31.5 plus, oh boy, we can keep going. We certainly could add 4.5, 4.5, 4.5, 4.5. And it would be smart to list all of those just to make sure we're doing this right and you're actually getting 72 at the end. If you're not getting 72 at the end, then there'd be some sort of mistake in there. Mine looks good so far. But again, if I can use that same idea, even though this isn't shown geometrically as the staircase, if I take the first plus the last, okay, and then I have to figure out how many terms it is and divide by 2, and that's where actually listing them all out would be really helpful. There's other ways to figure it out, but for now I would say making the full list is important, and when you do, you get 13. Okay, there are 13 terms. This is the first term, this is the 13th term, and when you calculate that, you get 585 as the sum. Okay, part B, what if you know there are 6 terms? So I made 6 blanks, and they said the last term is 21 and the sum is 336. What's the series? Okay, now in order to do this, I can kind of work backwards from here. So my sum is 336 equals the first term I don't know. I'm just going to say F for first. I do know my last term is 21. And I do know they told me that there are 6 terms. So if I just work backwards, and solve for F, I can get the right answer. So multiply times 2, divide by 6, or you certainly could just have divided by 3 to start with, subtract 21, and you should get that your first term is 91, okay? And then you could figure out from there, if I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps to go 70, then I'm subtracting 14 each time. It's kind of like finding the slope or the growth. Okay, so you can fill those in, and they already gave you the sum, so you didn't need to do that. In part C, they said, what if you know that the series has 9 terms and that the last term is 18? And that's all the information they give you. That's not enough information to figure out what the series is. We don't have any information about what the pattern is. We don't have another number in here. So not enough information. Okay, and then the last one, part D, what if the third term of an 18 term series is 29 and the terms are increasing by 10? So if I go backwards from 10, I'm going to get 9 here, plus obviously 19 plus, I'm going to just say 39, 49, 59, 69, 79, 89, 99, 109, 119, 129, 39, 49, 59, 69, 179 is my last term. Okay, and again, I can list those all out, and because it's a series, it means I'm adding all of the terms together. And if I want to find the sum, first plus last times the number of terms. They told us in the problem that it had 18 terms, and divide by 2, and I get a total sum of 1,692. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful to you. Okay, this is a little tricky because it's asking you to work backwards, forwards, and giving you pieces and parts, but hopefully that is helpful to you.